Question 5a. A is multiplied by 25, so you have to divide by 25, both sides. And therefore A must equal 10 over 25, which you can write as 0.4 if you like, or leave it as 10 over 25. Up to you. Part B. There's x's on both sides here, so there are more on the left than on the right, so I will collect them on the left and not the right. Alternatively, you could collect them on the right, but it just takes an extra step. So I'll take 10 away from the right, and I'll take 10 away from the left, and it will stay in balance. So now on the left, I've got 5, and on the right, I've got 0. Now I'm going to add 5 to both sides. I'm now left with 5x equals 5. And then the last step is to divide by 5 both sides. And x equals 1 for 1 tick. Letter C. First step is to multiply by 4. Giancarlo, multiply by 4 both sides. And then divide by 2. Both sides. X equals 12. X equals 12. Letter D. First step is to multiply by 8. Both sides. And I'm left with 5a plus 15 on the left. And I'm left with minus 80 on the right, because 8 times 10 is 80. Now I'll take away 15 both sides. It's equal to minus 95 on the right, and it's equal to 5a on the left. Now I'm going to divide by 5 both sides. And a will equal minus 19. 1 tick. Letter E. First step is to get rid of the brackets. So I'll multiply 3 by 3m, get 9m. 3 by minus 2, get minus 6. 2 by 3 is 6. And 2 by 3 is 6. I've got m's on both sides of the equation. I'll therefore take away 6 from the left and 6 from the right to collect them on the left. Take away 6, take away 6. On the left I'm left with 3, still got the minus 6 there. The m's will cancel, and I've got 6 on the right. Next step, add 6 to the left, add 6 to the right. Right hand side reads 12, left hand side reads 3m. Divide 12 by 3, and you get 4. Letter F. First step is to get rid of both sets of brackets. I will not touch the 7w to start with. I will take the minus 3 and multiply it by 6. And minus 3 multiplied by plus 2 is minus 6w. That will equal 3 times w. And 3 times minus 8. Sorry, mistake, 18. Collect w's on the left because there's 7 of them and minus 6 of them. It's w. Minus 18 equals 3w minus 18. Essentially, I can add 18 to both sides. What have I done? It was 24, wasn't it?
No, it's 24, yeah.
Sorry, 24. Mind blank. Add 18 to both sides. Thank you. Add 18 to both sides. And I'm left with minus 6 on the right. And I've still got W on the left. I've still got a 3W on the right as well. Okay, I've actually got more W's on the right than on the left, so I will take away a W from either side. Left on the left is 0. I've got minus 6 plus 2W now. I'm doing this a long way, but we'll get the right answer in the end. Add 6, 6 on the left, 2W on the right, divide by 2, divide by 2. Answer is W equals 3.
Oh.
I'm sure some of you could have done that in less steps than me, but we all both should get W equals 3. Okay. This is question number 6, letter A. It says, the perimeter of this rectangular garden bed is 34. Form an equation for the perimeter and solve it to find x. So all I have to do is recognize that this length is x and this is 2x plus 1. So perimeter is always the distance, around the outside. So I'm going to go 2 lots of 2x, because there's 2x plus 1 and 2x plus 1. So 2 lots of 2x plus 1 plus 2 lots of x, because there's 2 of those, and the total will be 34. And solve it. Now, that's the hard bit. Once you've got the equation, you should be able to solve it. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 1 is 2. Collect the x's. I have 6 of them. Take away 2, take away 2. I think it comes to 5 1/3, yeah. Divide by 6, divide by 6. X equals 5 1/3. Or you can write it as this. Preferably 5 1/3. Part B, calculate the length of each side of the garden bed. Well, one of them is 5 1/3 because one of them is x. The other side was 2x plus 1, I think. Yeah. So 2 lots of 5 1/3 plus 1 is equal to 11 2/3. Keep going. Question number 7. A local Auckland plumber charges $40 for a call-out fee, plus $75 an hour. It's probably relatively realistic, $75 an hour, and I think the call-out fee is on the cheap side. I think most people charge over $100 call-out fee if they're coming to fix your washing machine or your oven or whatever it might be. So the $40 stays fixed. The rate of $75 an hour changes depending on how long he stays. So the answer to the total, and you can, I don't know, call it T or whatever you want, is 75 lots of the number of hours he stays plus 40. For 1 mark.
So what if the...
Okay, hold on. There's a few people that aren't listening. I don't want you to talk, I just want you to listen. How many hours did the electrician work if his bill was $1,015? Sophia. 1015 must equal 75h plus 40. Write the equation. Now go about solving it. So take away 40 from the left and 40 from the right. Sorry, 975 it should be. Must equal 75h. And if you do the division, you've got a calculator. Divide by 75. Divide by 75. H equals 13 hours. 13 hours! That's probably more than a day. Question 8. Mark is saving for a new bike. So we can write to school. He worked out that he can save at a rate of $10 per week. Let W equal weeks taken to save and S equal total savings. Write an equation that represents the time it will take Mark to save for his bike. So total saving is S this time. He saves at $10 per week, so that's 10W. 10 lots of the number of weeks. But his mum promises him $50, so plus a 50. Part B. Susie's mum has also promised to give $50 towards her bike, or a bike, but Susie can only save half the amount per week that Mark does. So half of 10 is 5. Write an equation that represents the time it will take Susie to save for her bike. Let W equal weeks taken to save and S the total savings. So that also plus 50. That's worth another mark. Part C. If Susie saves for 5 months, how much will she have saved to pay for a bike? Show you're working. So S must equal $5 per week. And it's 5 months. So let's just argue that there are 4 weeks in a month. 5 months, 20 weeks. So 5 lots of 20 plus 50. That's 150. I accept slight variations on this. If you thought there were 21 weeks in 5 months, that was fine, and I accepted that mark too. Question number 9. Marvin wants to do well in his classes this year, so he's budgeting his time carefully to decide the number of extracurricular activities, E, he can join without affecting his studies. He expects to spend 1 hour and 30 minutes at meetings each week for each activity he joins, and a total of 2 hours extra each week working on tasks at home for all activities combined. Marvin has 16 hours free each week, but 8 of those will be spent on homework. What is the maximum number of extracurricular activities Marvin can join this year? You must show working. So here's how you could do it. You could say he had a total of 16 hours to spend. Some of that goes to homework, so it's down to 8. And that should equal... Now you can work this out in minutes, but it's easier to work in hours because the left-hand side is in hours. So now the right-hand side, Giancarlo, is also going to be in hours. Turn around, thanks. So instead of writing 1.3, that's not hours or minutes. That's kind of like a random number. So either 1.5 hours or, what is it, 90 minutes, isn't it? So 1.5 hours is 90 minutes. You could work all out in minutes and you'll still get the right answer. But I'm going to use 1.5e, but he also has to account for 2 hours extra working on tasks at home for all activities combined. So that's my equation. So I've got 8 on the left, 1.5e plus 2. I'll take away 2 from both sides. I'm left with 6 equals 1.5e. I'll divide by 1.5e, 1.5 rather, divide by 1.5, and that will give me e equals 4. 4 activities rather.